My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godi Odidi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching Souq News.
Hello and welcome to News on the Hour. I am Lovina Emma. Here are the headlines. Nigeria to create 10 million jobs through dry season farming initiative. IMF urges FG to eliminate subsidies by increasing electricity and fuel prices. Iraq oil minister affirms OPEC commitments. UK energy firm Connexa signs $14 million deal for renewable energy supply in Nigeria. And now, the news in full. The Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, NAFEM, says foreign exchange inflows soared to 66.7% to $2.2 billion last week, following banks' adherence to new central bank's directives. Inflows at NAFEM window, also known as the Investors and Exporters window, reached $2.2 billion by week's end. The Naira's value at the I&E window fell by 2.3%, closing at 1,469.97 naira to the dollar, while the parallel market, it dropped to 1,470 naira, marking an 8.2% decline. Analysts say compliance with new regulations and improved forex supply were key factors driving this surge. Following the tragic passing of former group CEO Dr. Herbert Wigwe, Access Holdings plc has appointed Ms. Bolaji Agbede as acting group CEO, ensuring in continuity leadership. The board of directors announced this decision yesterday following an earlier statement on February 11, 2024. Ms. Agbede, a seasoned executive with extensive experience in banking and business consultancy, awaits approval from the Central Bank of Nigeria. With nearly 3 decades of professional experience, including managerial roles at Guarantee Trust Bank and a tenure at Access Bank plc, she brings a wealth of expertise and strategic insight to her new role. Holding degrees from the University of Lagos and Cranfield University, UK, coupled with membership in prestigious professional institutes, Ms. Agbede is well prepared to navigate Access Holdings plc through this period of transition, ensuring stability in continuity and leadership. The Nigerian government is leveraging the 2024 dry season farming to create 5 to 10 million jobs across the country. This was disclosed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitization, Shehu Aliyu, at the regular meeting of the National Council on Water Resources and Sanitation. According to him, farmers and agro-dealers are optimistic that the cost of food items could drop in the coming months, following the cultivation of about 323,000 hectares of farmlands across the country with the support of the federal government. According to the report by the country's Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in January 2024, 4 major crops, wheat, rice, maize, and cassava, were currently being cultivated in large portions. He added that some programs had been introduced to ensure the successful implementation of the 2024 dry season farming and create millions of jobs. The Nigerian National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, has launched the creation of curricula for a higher national diploma in environmental health technology with a focus on pest and vector management and a national diploma in family health care technology. The executive secretary of the board, Prof. Idris Bugaje, announced this during a pre-critique session on the development of the HND curriculum for environmental health technology and national diploma in family health care technology. In collaboration with the Environmental Health Council of Nigeria, EHCON, the board aims to develop curricula for various environmental health specialties, including environmental health, public health, epidemiology, disease control, and water sanitation or hygiene. The initiative seeks to incorporate recent research, global best practices, and emerging trends into health education. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has advised the Nigerian government to eliminate subsidies for fuel and electricity, arguing that these financial supports are expensive and ineffective in assisting the populations most in need. The removal of subsidies is suggested to align prices more closely with market values, potentially leading to increased costs for consumers. The IMF commended ongoing reforms by the government, including fuel subsidy removal and exchange rate unification, but emphasized the need to fully phase out fuel and electricity subsidies. The recommendation aimed to allow market forces to determine prices and encourage revenue generation and digitization for fiscal sustainability. Despite acknowledging positive steps by the government, the IMF's suggestions pose challenges in balancing economic reforms with. The adoption of artificial intelligence is impacting job roles, but a balance must be found in focused, deliberate, and strategic regulation, according to Olufemi Adeagbo, the Managing Director of Comnavig Limited.
Mr. Adeagbo described AI as a significant enabler in transforming the fundamental dynamics of work as it is known, adding that AI could enable repetitive, mundane, and uninspiring tasks to be waived by humans. So that more focus and emphasis could be placed on jobs that truly drive productivity and deliver an improved quality of life for humans. He argued that displacement would occur, but could be turned into positive displacement with strategic planning and execution. How do we strike a balance between embracing the efficiency of AI and preserving human value? Mr. Sam of the African Development Studies Center gives an overview.
AI is already here. There are various software of artificial intelligence. So, to what extent can people deploy the various machine tools or artificial intelligence to enhance their productivity, which will increase the efficiency? So we can scale it up. It's already here through capacity building, education, and more information in the public space. That artificial intelligence in itself will not take the human thinking. It is just an enabler for us to function well as a people.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, through its executive chairman, Dr. Souq Adedeji, has said that it has no plan to tax online content creators. It will be recalled that a section of the media recently quoted the FIRS, saying that media content creators and influencers constitute a major block of tax evaders. A media practitioner, Jide Taiwo, comments on the issue.
I do not
Welcome back. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, through its executive chairman, Dr. Souq Adedeji, has said that it has no plan to tax online content creators. It will be recalled that a section of the media recently quoted the FIRS as saying that media content creators and influencers constitute a major block of tax evaders. A media practitioner, Jide Taiwo, comments on the issue.
I do not know for sure if influencers and content creators pay tax because their work, again, is not covered by conventional work practices. So you find a guy who is in his home recording a 60-second video, doesn't need anybody to clear it, takes it from his smartphone to the internet, and they get paid for these things by brands. So from that standpoint, it's important that they pay tax, not just because it's a punitive measure. I think for some reason in this part of the world, we look at tax as something that you are being punished, with. It's not. It's your contribution to society. And bear in mind that all of the monies that they are making are usually coming from brands that have to expenses as things that they have spent out. So if I'm a bank, for instance, and I've paid influencers, my auditors will know that I've paid an influencer for something, but that money doesn't go back to society. So, just a basic reason. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but it's important that anybody that makes money from the system, whether you love it or hate it or you don't agree with it, the money is still in the economy. It's important that you pay your taxes.
So what will you be telling the creative content creators and influencers?
I mean, if we've seen in the news in recent times, there's been a particular actress who had made a big fuss about not paying. So if you look at the news, there's been the story of a certain actress who made a big fuss about the Lagos state government demanding taxes,
And away from Nigeria, Liberia has signed a letter of intent with America's High Power Exploration Incorporation to embark on trail and road projects connecting Liberia with Guinea, termed the Liberty Corridor. The project is expected to cost between $3 to $5 billion. These infrastructure initiatives aim to enhance the West African region's access to global markets. Spearheaded by South African entrepreneur Robert Gumede, Guma Africa will collaborate with HPX to develop a new heavy-duty railroad linking Guinea's Nimba district to a newly established Liberian deepwater port. While project timelines were not disclosed, negotiations between HPX, Guma Africa, and Liberia's government are underway to establish a framework granting exclusive rights for the Liberty Corridor's development, financing, and operational management. Additionally, the initiative entails upgrading existing roads, expanding renewable energy systems, and enhancing high-speed telecommunications infrastructure from Liberia to Guinea. HPX anticipates that the Liberia-Guinea infrastructure link has the potential to revolutionize the mineral-rich Nimba region and stimulate development along the railway and road corridor in Liberia. Iraqi's oil minister, Hayyan Abdel Ghani, has reaffirmed the country's commitment to OPEC. Commitment to OPEC decisions, including a second voluntary production cut announced in December, limiting production to 4 million barrels per day. Current crude oil exports range from 3.35 to 3.4 barrels per day, even as progress is being made in talks with international oil companies operating in Iraqi Kurdistan to resolve dispute that has stopped northern oil exports. The minister stated that resuming exports from Kurdistan hinges on production resumption, with negotiations ongoing to transition production, sharing contracts to profit-sharing model. Turkey suspended Iraq's 450,000 barrels per day northern exports in March last year, following an arbitration ruling ordering Ankara to compensate Baghdad for unauthorized exports from 2014 to 2018. Asian stocks edged up while the dollar remained stable earlier today, anticipating a crucial U.S. inflation report that could influence the Federal Reserve's interest rate policy. Bitcoin continued in its upward movement, surpassing $50,000 for the first time in over 2 years, buoyed by inflows into the digital asset-backed exchange traded funds. MSCI's Asia Pacific Shares Index outside Japan rose by 0.15% early in trading, despite a 3% decline year-to-date. Japan's Nikkei surged to 1.7%, hitting a 34-year high driven by a weakening yen, nearing 150 per dollar. Chinese markets were closed for the Lunar New Year holiday, with trading set to resume next week. In the U.S., the Nasdaq slipped from its record high, while the S&P 500 remained above the 5,000-point mark. Investor focus remains on key U.S. Consumer Price Index and Producer Price Index reports, following economy and dampening expectations of imminent federal rate cuts. The French government has announced the suspension of a program to subsidize low-income earners leasing electric cars for the rest of the year due to overwhelming demand. Initiated to stimulate electric vehicle adoption among financially constrained individuals, the program allowed those earning less than $17,852 annually to lease electric vehicles for $109 to $164 per month, starting in 2024. Originally delayed due to insufficient eligible vehicles from French automakers, the program allocated $1.392 billion to offer 20,000 leases in 2024, which was subsequently increased to 50,000 leases due to high demand. Additionally, the government is providing cash incentives of $5,825 to $8,155 for electric car purchases totaling $928.1 million annually. Eligible vehicles must meet carbon emission permits to prevent inexpensive Chinese-made vehicles from qualifying. Notably, certain models from Stellantis, Renault are eligible, while Tesla's Y model qualifies but not its Model 3. Gold prices remained steady earlier today as investors awaited the release of U.S. inflation reports, which could influence the Federal Reserve's interest rate decisions. Spot gold traded flat at $2,018.71 per ounce after briefly dipping to a two-week low on Monday, while U.S. gold futures remained almost unchanged at $2,032 per ounce. With markets in China and Hong Kong closed for the Lunar New Year holidays, trading volume was expected to be thin. Analysts suggest that spot gold might retest support to $2,012 per ounce, with a potential break leading to a further decline to $2,002 per ounce. All attention was focused on the January U.S. Consumer Price Index data, with economists anticipating a slight decrease in both year-on-year consumer price index and core figures from December. California lawmakers and labor unions are advocating for legislation to prohibit autonomous trucks without human drivers, citing safety concerns sparked by recent accidents involving self-driving vehicles from General Motors and Alphabet. The destruction of a Waymo robotaxi during Chinese New Year celebrations marks the most severe attack on driverless vehicles in the U.S., following prior incidents including a collision with a cyclist and a pedestrian accident involving a GM Cruise robotaxi. Lawmakers are pushing for stricter regulations, proposing bills to grant cities control over permits and enforcement of AV-related laws, alongside requiring human drivers in self-driving trucks over 10,001 pounds. The move is supported by the Teamsters Union, while tech companies face scrutiny over safety and regulatory compliance. Governor Gavin Newsom's stance on the regulation remains pending. Despite the temporary setback caused by the unexpected shutdown of the U.S. BP's Whiting refinery portfolio, investors are maintaining a positive outlook on the crude markets. While the refinery's sudden halt in production has prompted a reassessment of positions, investors remain optimistic about the market's resilience. Although concerns about a potential surplus in crude accumulation have emerged, investors are confident in the market's ability to rebound swiftly. Prior to the outage, shrinking inventories at key delivery points had fueled expectations of a supply squeeze, reflecting underlying market strength. Furthermore, the continued demand for European gas oil amidst signs of an industrial recovery in Europe highlights growing confidence in broader energy sector. Despite challenges in the U.S. gas market, investors remain committed to seeking opportunities for growth and stability, underscoring their confidence in the market's long-term prospects. And we will be right back after this short break.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching Souq News.
Welcome back. Propelled by situations surrounding artificial intelligence, NVIDIA has overtaken Amazon Inc. to Amazon Incorporated market capitalization yesterday at a record high of $734.96. NVIDIA has reached market value of $1.82 trillion, just slightly below Google owner Alphabet's $1.87 trillion. This marks the first time since NVIDIA surpassed Amazon value. Investors are eagerly awaiting NVIDIA's quarterly results on February 21 amidst a 47% year-to-date surge in shares. NVIDIA's dominance in supplying chips for generative AI applications has driven its remarkable 223% surge over the past year, making it the leading performer among the Magnificent Seven stocks. Microsoft currently holds the title of the world's most valuable company, surpassing Apple in January. The United Kingdom is set to establish an enhanced trade and investment partnership, ETIP, with Nigeria, focusing on sectors like energy, legal and financial services. UK's Business and Trade Secretary, Kemi Badenoch, and Nigeria's Minister for Trade and Investments, Doris Uzoka Aniete, will sign the trade deal aiming to remove barriers for UK lawyers practicing international law in Nigeria and fostering collaboration in the film industry. The partnership seeks to strengthen economic ties, transitioning from historical connections to shared economic prosperity. As part of the efforts to improve local manufacturing and position Nigeria as a pharmaceutical hub in Africa, Indian investors have approved to invest 25 million naira in Nigeria's pharmaceutical industry, signaling confidence in the country's market potential. India's Consul General to Nigeria, Sri Shamaduli Ken, has approved the inauguration of a new pharmaceutical facility by Artemis Laboratories in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. Despite the departure of some international pharmaceutical firms, Indian investors see promise in Nigeria's markets and emphasize the importance of framework to foster innovation. This partnership underscores a deepening collaboration between India and Nigeria in heralding opportunities for economic growth and advancements in healthcare. Conexa, a UK energy firm, is set to finalize $14 million deal with Nigerian counterpart North-South Power, AI, to supply Nigerian breweries with 100% renewable energy in the forthcoming years. The signing part of the British Trade Secretary Kemi Badenoch's visit to Abuja underscores efforts to strengthen bilateral ties between the UK and Nigeria. According to the UK's Department of Business and Trade, the agreement signifies a landmark moment highlighting the collaboration between Conexa and NSP in advancing sustainable energy solutions. This deal is expected to promote sustainable development and infrastructure investments, and it marks a significant step towards renewable energy adoption in Nigeria's industrial sector. Conexa's CEO, Pradeep Persnani, expressed optimism about future investments exceeding $120 million in renewable energy technologies, signaling a pivotal shift away from fossil fuels. The agreement signifies a milestone in fostering closer economic cooperation between the UK and Nigeria, aligning with broader efforts to eliminate trade barriers and foster collaboration across various sectors. The recent approval of Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs, has led to a surge in the crypto market, propelling Bitcoin to its highest level since December 2021, with its price surging nearly by a fifth and surpassing $50,000 Bitcoin's market valuation, which nears $1 trillion. Major players like BlackRock, Fidelity, and ARK21 shares have introduced spot Bitcoin ETFs, accumulating over $10 billion in assets within a month. Additionally, Anticipation builds around the upcoming Bitcoin halving event, historically associated with substantial gains. Despite retail traders cautiously joining the bull run, factors like stablecoin, demand in China, and the long-to-short ratio mix sentiments among investors. Nonetheless, the market braces for further developments amid ongoing shifts in cryptocurrency dynamics. The Chief Executive Officer of OpenAI, Sam Altman, has expressed concerns about the subtle societal misalignments that could have led to havoc caused by artificial intelligence systems. He raised this during his speech at the World Government Summit and emphasized the need for global oversight akin to the International Atomic Energy Agency to manage AI's rapid advancements. Altman, while stressing the importance of not solely relying on the AI industry for regulation, has advocated for broader global consensus and action plans. Despite OpenAI's prominent position in the field, Altman is associated with AI's commercialization. And that is our package for the news hour. Thank you for watching. Please follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Lavina Emma.